What's up, YouTube? I am Ramon Garcia. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful new year. Hope everyone is trying to work hard at fulfilling their goals and their accomplishments that they had listed prior to the year, for this year. And if you, it's the fifth day of the month. If you've already fallen back a little bit, well, you know what? It's not too late. Let's get going. Let's get started. Let's do this. Let's get your minds, get your head together, and let's get this done. Okay. Today I want to talk to you really quick about ways of starting or getting into your real estate journey. Right. Um, a lot of people want say they want to jump into this industry, and some just can't seem to find a direction. So I wanted to take time and do this video for you. And I'm basically going to tell you the ways that I got into this. And it may or may not work for you, but I'm going to just throw them out there and hopefully it'll make a difference. It'll, for someone, okay? So I started off with a condo. I bought a condo for cheap, very cheap. It was at an auction. It was a tax auction. So every municipality, every uh, local municipality and state, they have what's called auctions, tax auctions. Okay, and what happens is when people don't pay their taxes. Remember we talked about this. If you didn't see my other video, check it out on how owning homes, specifically single family homes, you pay taxes, and if you don't have that extra income, it's got to come out of your pocket, and if the taxes go up, it's on you. You're fully responsible. So you don't pay your taxes, right? And the city uh, starts to send you notices, and somehow or another, the individual can't come up with the money or gets too behind for whatever reason, maybe draws ill or loses his or her job. Things happen. Things happen. Um, and therefore, the city, the municipality, will move forward after numerous attempts because they will give you time to pay these taxes, although there'll be interest will be accumulating throughout that time. And so that's part of what makes it difficult for people to come out of that. Once they get drawn into this tax um, default, you start getting interest. They start adding fees for all the letters they have to send you, sheriff fees, attorney fees, interest, and so that starts to accumulate. So if you owe, like, let's say, 2 grand, that bill can jump up to three, $4,000 or $5,000 by the time you know it. And a lot of people, they get jammed up. They get in too deep, and I think a lot of it is they just don't seek the help. They don't seek the help, and so they get into trouble. And when they come to find out, they're five, six, $7,000 in the hole on owing taxes, and they've already set a tax date, an auction date to auction the property off because the taxes haven't been paid. And this is what the city does. I've seen it done in numerous cities, but I'm not sure if all cities do it the same way. But I believe that most of them are similar. Uh, I believe they have there's notices, and there's every state has different laws, so you'd have to look at all that. But the way it worked in the city that I purchased the auction was that the house was taken away from uh, the owner who didn't pay taxes and refused to pay taxes, and so they auctioned off the property. And so they have an auction date where they invite the community, the people, citizens, anyone who's interested, anyone, as long as you got the money, can go and to the auction. And so they have an auction date, and start auctioning off the properties. And in my case, I was bidding versus another gentleman. The condo started at, I want to say, like $10,000. Okay, this was back, I don't know, like 20 years ago or something. And we ended up I ended up winning. We kept going back and forth, and he would bid, and then I would overbid. And bid. I would bid higher, and he would beat my bid, and so forth. And make a long story short, I ended up winning that bid for about $27,000 for the condo. It was a one-bedroom condo, about 700 square feet, which is pretty big, I think. And the what caught my attention was that I was able to rent that condo out. I didn't have to live in the condo. It was an an investor's paradise, is what they call. So in this particular complex, you were able to rent your unit out. So I bought the condo. Uh, I remodeled it, fixed it up. It took me about a good 2 months before I was done with it, and I rented it right away for, I believe it was $900. Today that rent is going for, I don't own the condo anymore, but that rent today is like $1,600, $1,500 today. So $900 was really good. I had the condo paid off. I had the cash. I put the money together through my through my job, working extra hours and so forth, and I was able to invest in that condo. And so I bought that condo, fixed it up, rented it, and I refinanced that condo like 3 years later and pulled out 90,000 dollars on a refinance. I pulled that $90,000 out, and I started buying more properties. That's when I started to blow up and buy numerous properties because I took that money and I reinvested it. And that's my tip here for you today. Buy a unit. I'm going to do other videos, but I want to try to keep this as short as possible. And so this one is going to be about the condo that I bought as a way of starting an investment. But you have to be able to rent the condo. You have to be able to rent the unit out. That's very important. Okay, so and so I refinanced it, pulled 90 grand, and bought other properties. And then in 2019, 20, 2020, 2019, 2019. No, I'm sorry, 2020. I sold that condo plus 8 other units I had in that complex because I kept buying units. Once I got in there, I kept buying units. I got to know the complex and know the people and the owners, and they would call me. They knew I was an investor. They would call me, and you start developing relationships and networking with these people. And they would call me and say, "Hey, listen, Ramon, I want to sell my unit. I'm going to sell my unit if you're interested." And absolutely, I would jump right in, get the money, make the deal, get the money, and close the deal. So that's how it worked for me. And so in that complex, I had 8 units, and I sold them all. I got rid of them all because I got into a bigger project. So, but I end up selling each unit for, and I wish I would have held it because the market right now is ridiculous. But I sold each unit for about $70,000. Okay, 70,000. So there you have it, folks. You know, just to recap, not sure of how you want to get into this. Well, this is one way. You check your local municipality, your clerk's office. Inquire about tax auctions, properties that are being given sold on auction for tax purposes, right? For failure to pay taxes, and then you start showing up to these auctions and start bidding. Now you have to have the cash. You have to be ready to pay for the cash. I think they give you 10 days to make the payment. So you go into the auction. At least that was my case. I won the auction, and then I had 10 days to pay that 27 or something like that $1,000. So that's one way. I think it's an effective way. You can also buy multi-family houses. You can also buy single-family homes, and you can flip them. You can buy them cheap. You can flip them, or you can rent single-family homes. And we'll talk about that in another video. But that's the one way I want to point out here is to local municipality tax auctions. Check them out. Go online. Check out their web pages. There's plenty of information you can find without even going to the, being in that city. I know people who buy properties from, from Vegas, are buying properties in Connecticut, and from Connecticut, New York, and Florida, and Texas, and it's crazy. You don't have to be there physically. They have these auctions online now. It's crazy because of the whole, pandemic. They have these auctions online, so you don't even have to show up. You can do a Zoom type auction now. It's insane. So get out there, and start browsing, start researching, and use this method. Use this method. Get into the local municipalities, get into their websites, research it, and if you know that this, if your local town doesn't have anything going on, check another town, another county, uh, maybe another city, another state. Okay, if you want to invest and get into this, there's different ways of doing it. There's really no excuse. The point is you have to do it, and that's the number one problem with people. I talk to people throughout the years, and I've spoken to people who that I've spoken to, 15, 20 years ago, and they were telling me, yeah, I want to buy property, I want to start investing, I want to be a landlord, I want to do what you do, and here it is, 15, 20 years later, they ain't done nothing. They ain't done nothing, folks, and that's the problem. Too much chatter talk. You gotta get into the grind. You gotta get dirty, and you gotta get into it, and you gotta do it. Stop talking about things and be a doer. Be a doer. That's it for now. I'm gonna be coming out with more content, more ways on finding and buying properties. Okay, if you like this content, hit the smash button and subscribe to my channel. Put my stuff out there. There's really exciting stuff coming up, and hopefully this will help someone start their journey. Thank you all, and peace out.